South of Allentown, Pennsylvania, stands the South Mall. I know, who would have guessed? Although not a very creative name, the mall clings to life with a modest mix of tenants and occasional outdoor events. Let's go for a walk and discuss the mall. Before there was the South Mall, there was Hess's South, an offshoot from the downtown department store in Allentown. This satellite store opened in 1971 ahead of the rest of the mall, and over time, the South Mall would go up, starting on the north side in 1975 with specialty shops and a Weiss Markets. The north side today has since been closed off and mostly demalled for outward-facing tenants, unfortunately. But if you know where to look, you can still see a sliver of that mall today. In 1979, Hess's would get bought out by Crown American, and ownership would be transferred over to the Johnstown-based company. And over the course of 1986 and 87, they would bring forward the southern expansion of the mall, effectively making Hess's a mall-through anchor, and on the south side, Jamesway would open a new store as an anchor, their 100th store. And to herald the occasion, there was a special event featuring skydivers who landed in the mall parking lot. Wouldn't that have been something to behold? The mall was gaining popularity, and in 1991, the mall would see yet another expansion that would bring far more as the third anchor on the south side. Hess's, Jamesway, Weiss, and far more. Quite the lineup, making the mall a catch-all location for your essentials rather than being so fashion-centric. Perhaps malls should look at that again if they want to adapt to the times. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, however. Enter 1991, and the northern half of the mall was not really doing that well. When one of its inline tenants, Rhea and Derek, was acquired and vored by CVS Pharmacy, the portion of the mall was classified as deactivated and would eventually be demalled in favor of outward-facing tenants, like Staples in 1996. In 1999, though, Weiss Markets would shutter its location, citing poor sales as the reason why. The space would get subletted into a mattress firm, Blick Art Materials, and a wine and spirits store. Around this time, Bon-Ton would acquire the Hess's nameplate and discontinue it, taking over as the central anchor for the mall. Trouble was also emerging on the south side of the South Mall when Jamesway closed its doors for the last time in 1995, as the chain was filing for bankruptcy. At least the space wouldn't be vacant for long, as Steinmart would step in to take over most of the space and open their first store in Pennsylvania. While the rest of the space would see tenants move in, like Gold's Gym and a home and gift store, Ross stands in that place starting in 2012 and coming to the making of this video. Enter the 21st century, and things began hitting hard. For the US, but also the mall. Far More would become Far Less, closing its doors in 2002, and would get replaced by Steve & Barry's. In 2003, Crown American's portfolio would be acquired by Priet in a $1.2 billion transaction, of which included the South Mall. Steve & Barry's would then close in 2008 as the company basically YouTubed itself by spreading out too rapidly. And the space would get filled in by Black Rose Antiques. Priet was not fond of where the South Mall was going as it began underperforming, and would sell it off to Nicholas Park Mall LLC for the low price of $23.6 million. Just 3 years later, Black Rose Antiques would opt to relocate to the now defunct Phillipsburg Mall, with their old space at South Mall getting filled in by Limerick Furniture Gallery. And finally, in 2018, the Bon-Ton would meet its maker as it filed for bankruptcy and would liquidate over the summer of that year. Couple this with the closure of Limerick Furniture in 2019 and then Steinmart in 2020, and you'd find the mall completely anchorless. But it was still going by the time I arrived in 2022. The mall today still sees a handful of inline tenants, including their mercantile creations, Yoko's Hot Dog King, Dino's Pizza, and a handful of mall mainstays like an Asian massage parlor, nail salon, and hair salon. Even Bath & Body Works is still hanging around, for now at least. The South Mall is also home to Food Truck Thursdays over the summer, where you can try good food on wheels. While the mall is hitting hard times, it doesn't appear the owners or local management want it to go down without a fight. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. And as we end this tour with a quick look in the windows of that remaining sliver on the north end, thanks for having me, Allentown, Pennsylvania. And until next time, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the South Mall farewell and good luck in the future. I actually bought some booze at the wine and spirits shop, mostly because I had to cope with the fact that I was about to drive through New Jersey and New York City later that day. Ugh.